time ever in a postseason game in this stadium. This will be the 25th playoff game here at Rogers Center. Tonight's batting order presented by Hankook Tire. Adam Jones leads it off for the Orioles. Hyun-Soo Kim hits second, then Manny Machado, and then in the cleanup spot, the league leader, in fact, the leader of Major League Baseball in home runs, Mark Trumbo is the DH. Then it's Matt Wieters, Chris Davis, Jonathan Scope, the second baseman, the veteran Michael Bourne in right field, and shortstop J.J. Hardy, as they will face Marcus Stroman.
He might be little, but he's a little stick of dynamite, is Marcus Stroman. You see his numbers for the year. But the thing about Stroman, I was talking about how he pitched in Game 5 of the ALDS. He's one of those pitchers that pitches with great emotion. And this crowd, I believe, is only going to help him.
Can you tell they've been waiting all day for this? Adam Jones steps in, and we are underway. In the air, right center field, Kevin Pillar falls and squeezes for out number one.
Defensively for Toronto, when you look at Kevin Pillar in center field, he can make some spectacular catches. He'll get a Gold Glove out there someday. See Martin's Gold Glove, Tulowitzki, Donaldson at third, Travis at second, and Encarnacion at first base.
Here's Hyun-Soo Kim. Had one of the biggest hits of the season for the Baltimore Orioles in this ballpark last week. Pinch hit home run to win the game. And at the time, it kept the Orioles ahead of Detroit. They would have been tied for the #2 wild card spot had the Orioles not won that game, and Baltimore went on to take 2 out of 3 in that series.
Not only was that a go-ahead home run in the 9th, but it was off the closer, Roberto Osuna. Put him in a little bit of a funk for a few days.
Stroman's only 5'9", 185. He's into the wind, and here it comes. Back to the screen. 3 balls and a strike.
Stroman is a fastball, slider, changeup pitcher. Outstanding action on his fastball. Great sink. You'll see right away if he's doing well, you'll see a lot of ground balls.
The count is full, 3-2. That's one thing that John Gibbons told us. He said, look, this guy will get ground balls in a team like the Baltimore Orioles. Leaders in home runs. You got to keep the ball in the yard. On the ground to second, Devin Travis. Two up and 2 down.
Guys, it's really loud down here. I don't know that I can hear your voice. I'm trying to think, when do I jump into the telecast? But right now, what a wonderful play right here. He rounds the ball, knows he has a little time, throws on the run, made a difficult play look very easy.
Here's Manny Machado. You'll notice different look to this Toronto playing surface. In years past, it was dirt just around the bases, around those cutouts. Now they've got the entire clay infield. And there's a strike to Machado.
Hey, Ronnie, I love the way Russell Martin gets that low strike. You can see it really well down here on the field. He gets down on one knee and kind of pulls it back up into the low part of the knee. And for a sinker baller, that's a really good skill to have behind the plate.
Martin frames pitches as well as any catcher in the game.
1 ball, 1 strike. Outside. Yeah, Martin has a knack for finding himself playing at this time of year too. 11 seasons in the big leagues, and this is the 9th time he's getting to the playoffs. Stroman back into the wind, and that's in the dirt. And again, it falls behind, 3-1.
A good winning team needs a catcher, and it's not by accident that he's been in the playoffs and been on those winning teams.
Russell Martin's 3rd wild card in the last 4 years.
In the air, in the infield. Who wants it? Tulowitzki calls off Travis. And it's a 1-2-3 top of the first for Marcus Stroman. Leads it off Josh Donaldson, last year's MVP in the 2-hole. Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista. Powerful 3-4 combination. Then Russell Martin, Troy Tulowitzki, Michael Saunders, Kevin Pillar, and Ezekiel Carrera hits ninth. Chris Tillman delivers high, 1-0.
Well, the ace of the staff went 16-6 during the regular season, but he has never enjoyed pitching here in the Rogers Center. 68 innings pitched in his career. He's given up 20 home runs.
Yanked foul. 1-1. Boy, they're ready to scream for anything in this ballpark right now. You talk about the home runs. When you look at the batting order for Toronto, 8 of the 9 have homered in their careers off Tillman. All in 2 strikes. Travis is 25 years old, the leadoff hitter. They call him Baby. In fact, had T-shirts made with that baby emoji on them, and you'll see those around the Toronto clubhouse. Took something off and struck him out. 1 down.
Well, defensively for the Baltimore Orioles, you can see 4th highest fielding percentage in all of the American League. Lots of Gold Gloves out there. None finer than Machado at third base. He and Arenado are the gold standard for third base defensive play.
Josh Donaldson isn't so bad either.
Right.
Donaldson swings and misses 0-1. The Orioles shift with 3 infielders on the left side.
See the nerves a little bit in the hitters so far, almost swinging at everything they see.
Yeah, the hitters seem to be amped up a little bit more aggressive than normal. You know that shift right there, you look at Chris Davis at first base, he's got to be aware that he can't get too far off of first base because he still needs to get there to be the target for the other 3.
Well, Cal, how tough is that if you get a ball on that left side? You're almost throwing to a moving target at first base.
Well, that's the danger, you know, especially when you're backhanding the ball or have to hurry a throw. It's one thing when you get a routine ball where you can gather yourself and let him get there, but if you have to throw it right away, you need that first baseman to be a target because you're trying to pick it up at fast motion.
And now at the count 1-2, Scope moves back to his normal position. That's wide of first, and Davis with the flip to Tillman and got him.
Well, when we think of Chris Davis, we always think of him as just a big guy who hits home runs, but he is sneaky athletic, Cal.
Yeah, he got off the mound really well, and Chris Davis over there remains shallow. You know, many times you'll move back and not try to protect the bunt, but playing off the base and shallow is shorter distance for him to get there for the throws. So he was in a perfect position to catch and flip to Tillman.
2 down now for Edwin Encarnacion. 42 home runs this year. That was number 5, and tied for the lead in RBIs in the American League at 127. Tied with a guy you may have heard of, Big Papi.
Well, one of the reasons that Tillman is 16-6 this year, he hasn't allowed a home run to anyone in the top 10 in home runs in baseball.
No balls and a strike.
Buck knows when he watches Chris Tillman, if he's getting that curveball over, that's when he has those big, solid games.
Sailing all the way to the screen.
Yeah, Ronnie, to build on that point, the reason the curveball is such a valuable pitch for Tillman is it starts at a higher plane. And if he gets that curveball dropping in for a strike, it also sets up his high fastball that he likes to deliver when he wants to strike somebody out.
Little blooper over to first. And Chris Davis squeezes it for the third out. 1, 2, 3 for Chris Tillman. We head to the second.
Not too bad. Madison Bumgarner against Noah Syndergaard.
Top half of the second inning. Here's Mark Trumbo leading off against Marcus Stroman. Trumbo led all of baseball with 47 home runs. He knocked in 108. And this is the first time he has appeared in a postseason game.
Dan Duquette of the Baltimore Orioles with the steal of the winner, trading Steve Clevenger, a backup catcher, for Trumbo.
The 2-0 is slapped to short. Tulowitzki held his ground and threw him out. Got 6 umpires for this one. Of course, you add them down the lines for postseason baseball. Gary Cederstrom is the crew chief. Makes the calls behind the plate. There's Ted Barrett at first. Eric Cooper at second. Bill Welke makes the calls at third. And down the lines, got David Rackley in left and Will Little in right.
Hey, Ernie, did you describe that ball to shortstop as slap to shortstop?
Oh, I didn't say it was slap. That was tattooed.
That thing was a rocket. It was loud down here on the field. He almost handcuffed Tulowitzki all the way playing back on the grass.
I know. I should have known when I saw you flinch.
Cal, Ernie's
having a flashback.
Ernie's in charge of the verbs here.
It is cool being down here again, being this close, because you get that feel of the ball jumping off the bat. And you hear the sound.
Stroman ahead of Wieters. No balls and 2 strikes. Nibbled at the corner and missed. 1 and 2.
Yeah, that looked like a slap to shortstop to me. He hit it a little bit back. He didn't get it elevated, but he hit it strong.
So far, Stroman's sinking fastball. He's got command of it. He has yet to get command of that good slider.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top half of the second.
Wieters has had some good at-bats against Stroman here in 2016. 5 for 12 with a couple of home runs. Wieters ended his season with Baltimore on Sunday with a couple of home runs, 1 from each side.
In the air, near the line, in left. Carrera over there, makes the play.
Yeah, I got blocked out of the corner on live, but now I can see it on the replay. Goes over, knows exactly where the wall is, wants to keep his eye on the ball when it gets to that point, and makes the catch.
163rd game here for the Blue Jays. This is the first time that they've had these players at these positions.
Chris Davis takes a strike. For the most part, Chris Davis was the Orioles' cleanup hitter. Buck Showalter hitting in 6th tonight. Something he's done a dozen times this season.
You know, you bring up an interesting point. You know, when you go into the playoffs, should you change what you do? Should you keep it the same? Should you try something new at that point? That's always been a battle. I know Joe Torre had a great success managing in the regular season, but he changed to start to expand Mariano Rivera's role in the bullpen. So that managers can do some things, but I often wondered, you know, play with what got you here.
I thought this would be the toughest battle for Stroman all night long, guys. Stroman's a low ball pitcher. Chris Davis covers the low ball.
No words needed. Heading to the bottom of the second. MLB Shop gift code and the chance to win tickets to every 2017 World Series game. Bottom half of the second inning, inside to Joey Bats, Jose Bautista. 22 home runs, 69 runs batted in. A guy who 12 years ago made his major league debut for the Baltimore Orioles. Takes inside again, 2-0.
Well, they have the shift on that left side, and Tillman so far trying to pitch Bautista in.
Ball. Went in there again and missed. 3-0.
We've had Bautista last couple games. He had a couple 3-0 counts and hadn't swung. Wouldn't surprise me if he turns it loose here.
Good call. Luis Rivera, third base coach for the Blue Jays, fielded that in foul territory, and it's 3-1. There's a drive. Deep left field, back toward that wall, and it's gone.
Pitch, took a really good swing at the 3-0, pulled it foul. He got his timing a little bit better. Didn't quite get everything on that ball, but enough to go out of left field.
Jose Bautista is a free agent at the end of the year. That's his first salvo. I'd like to stay.
You see that leg kick, gets it up in the air. And he's hit a couple of long home runs. That one wasn't his longest, but he definitely got enough of it. Great timing.
Well, 1-0 to Russell Martin. Breaking pitch over, a ball and a strike.
5 home runs now in 12 postseason games for Bautista. How impressive.
Martin lays down a bunt right back to Tillman, who throws him out. Good idea, but not exactly the execution.
No, but he's capable of doing that, and he was trying to push it past Tillman because there's nobody in the hole at second base and beat the pitcher to the bag. Here's a home run again. That fastball grooved right down the middle, and he was sitting dead red all over it.
Batting practice today was like watching the All-Star Game home run derby. Balls flying out of here.
The balls were hitting the facing of the upper deck, straightaway center off the second deck.
Now.
In case you're wondering who's up.
You know, Ronnie, I can't fault Tillman for throwing a 3-1 strike, but you might want to look back and try to be careful with that pitch. That doesn't categorize as a mistake on the 3-1 right down the middle. He's still got to hit the ball at the ballpark.
In the air to right field near the line. Michael Bourne over in the corner, and he made the catch.
It's almost like Tulo looking back, like how could he be playing me there? He wasn't. Just Michael Bourne, probably the speediest of all the Baltimore Orioles, just makes a brilliant play in right field.
Yeah, I had a really good angle down here. He covered a lot of ground and was tracking it. The ball was right next to the fence. Showed a lot of courage going in there and catching it, then crashing into the wall.
And he looks even faster with those day-glow orange shoes on, too.
You got a style, Ernie.
I'm not ripping it. I like it. Michael Saunders steps in and takes a strike, 0-1.
Saunders' numbers against Baltimore this year, he's owned them.
He's got a couple of home runs in his career off Tillman.
Michael Saunders from British Columbia. Russell Martin from Ontario. First two teammates from Canada that have 20 more home runs.
Ball. Tried to paint the corner and missed. 2-1. Orioles shifting against Saunders as well in scope. Second baseman in shallow right.
Tillman got the call there on that fastball down. Looked down to me.
Yeah, it didn't look good from over here either. We saw Josh Donaldson kind of giving it to him a little bit.
Out of play down the left side, and it stays 2-2. This also the postseason debut for Michael Saunders. Pal, what do you think it's like when you're getting your first taste of that?
Well, I mean, you want to hold your excitement to a point, but you don't want to go up there and be passive. You want to still get a good pitch to hit and then turn it loose.
I've always found the best playoff performers are the ones that don't change a thing. They do exactly what they've been doing all season long.
Payoff pitch to Saunders. He struck him out. Second strikeout for Chris Tillman. But Toronto gets on the board with the long ball. Joey bats 1-0. One place. Download the free Bleacher Report app and do it right now. Top half of the third inning. Jonathan Schoop leads it off for the Orioles. A tapper over the mound. Travis throws on the run, 1 down.
Well, we're a big fan of these broadcasts of the shutdown inning once your team has scored a run. Stroman this year, ERA is 4.27. One of the reasons I think he finished one game under 500.
So, Ronnie, what does a 1-0 lead do for a pitcher? I know defensively it made me relax a little bit, but you had a little bit margin for error. What's it do for a pitcher?
Well, I think, Cal, the most important part is that it allows you when you're 1-0 or 2-0, 2-1 to be aggressive, to throw a strike, to throw a fastball, keep it down in the zone. You can be more aggressive.
Quickly ahead of Michael Bourne. 0-2.
Well, you never know what events will transpire. Michael Bourne languishing in Arizona, traded late to the Orioles. He's now starting game 1. Mark Trumbo goes to the DH. He played a lot of right field. No way he makes that catch in the second.
Stroman got him looking for out number 2. Second strikeout for Stroman.
The slider I was talking about that he did not have control over the first 2 innings is starting to become a very effective pitch. A good one there.
Here's the Orioles shortstop, J.J. Hardy, the number 9 hitter. Always got to do a double take when I look out there and see no shift. Stroman working quickly. Ran it inside, hit the bat, foul ball.
You know, sometimes innings set up a certain way. Scope coming up and swinging at the first pitch and making it out. Almost make Michael Bourne go up there and say, okay, let me be a little bit more passive and take a couple pitches. You don't want to let the pitcher get away with a short inning. And sometimes that takes your aggressiveness if you're the second hitter out of your hands.
Marcus Stroman has sailed through the oath with MLB postseason pregame on TBS, presented by the all-new Chrysler Pacifica. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, Kevin Pillar leads it off and takes a strike from Chris Tillman. There's been one base runner in the game, and he circled the bases. Jose Bautista, solo shot in the 2nd.
Both these managers can say the same thing about their ball club. When anyone's at the plate, they're in scoring position.
Pillar's a fiery guy, a real competitor, and in fact looks back on an incident a couple of seasons ago when he was called up from the minor leagues, was pinch hit for, had words with John Gibbons, and before you knew it, he was right back in the minor leagues. When he was recalled, he has not returned. He grounds to short and Hardy throws him out. Moments ago, Sam Ryan spoke with Orioles manager Buck Showalter.
Buck, Marcus is working quickly. What do you need to see from your batters?
Hits. No, you know, you try to stay engaged. He's a good pitcher. Everybody this time of year is pretty good, so you have to. There's a lot of baseball to be played, but Chris got himself right back on step after the home run. You always like to see that in a guy that's really turned into a veteran guy.
What do you like from him so far on the mound tonight?
Well, Chris is a guy that will throw any pitch anytime in the count, and the command's been good. That's you know, always something you look for, but you know, he'll give us a chance, and their guys are good too. You having fun?
I'm having fun. You have fun?
Exactly. Where else would you want to be? Our guys are too. We'll see if we can do something.
Okay, thanks a lot, Buck.
Thank you.
Everybody's having fun. First playoff game of 2016, the AL wildcard game here on TBS. And Ezekiel Carrera, the number 9 hitter, was fooled on that offering from Tillman.
You couldn't have two different managers. When we go into John Gibbons' office, he says, hey guys, what'd you like to talk about? When we go into Buck Showalter's office, he starts talking and doesn't stop until we leave.
That's a look from the CN Tower. One of the great spots here in Toronto. That's pretty tall. Ball and 2 strikes. Foul tip into the mitt. And strikeout number 3 for Chris Tillman.
And guys, you know, Buck said you're having fun. You know, our guys are having fun too. But there's an urgency, sense of urgency in this game. Everybody's game face is a little bit more serious. It's not the smiles and everybody walking around. It's everyone knows the importance of each pitch, and you can tell in their face that they're really concentrating and playing each pitch.
Back to the top of the order now for Toronto and Devin Travis, who struck out his first time.
Well, that's the problem you have with this wild card game. There's only one team that's going to have fun at the end of the night.
Yeah, one team heading to Arlington, Texas for a best-of-5 with the Rangers. Whoever's running the scoreboard here thought that pitch missed. It was a strike. It's 1-1. They had it 2-0 on the board. Now back to a ball and a strike. Little blooper behind second, and on is Bourne for the catch. 3 up, 3 down for Tillman in the 3rd. We head to the 4th in the Wild more. Download At Bat today. So Cal, you've been through the order once now. If you're Marcus Stroman, if you're in that Baltimore dugout, what kind of talk has there been heading into this fourth inning about seeing him for the second time around?
Well, a lot of times you might talk about the movement of the pitch, movement of his fastball, whether he has a sharp breaking ball, whether he's getting it over or not. But I think most of the data you get is from your own personal experience at the first at bat. Adam swung at the first pitch and flew out to center field. Had a pretty good pass at it, and you could see him kind of nodding his head, looking at the pitcher, saying, "Okay, I got you, I got you," and learning, the speed of the pitch, and maybe even making an impression on the swing. Maybe will allow you to look at another swing. So I think it's mostly personal, less sharing from everybody else, because everybody goes up to the plate with their regular idea. But a lot of times when you don't know a pitcher, you want to have some information from the hitters. Say, what's his fastball doing? Is it sinking? Is it cutting late? That data is important. But I don't think when you know guys that well, that's the conversation that's happening right now.
The 1-2 pitch. Into right field. He served it out there and picked up the first hit of the night for the Baltimore Orioles. Moments ago, Sam Ryan spoke with Blue Jays manager John Gibbons.
John, you said Marcus was the perfect guy to start this game. We saw what he did last October. How much of that do you see tonight?
Well, Sam, he looks really good, and I meant that. There's more to it than just always looking at numbers in a one-game showdown, and kind of feeds off the emotion. Tillman's very good too. We got the big home run by Jose right there, but they're both sticking it pretty good. So there's a lot of game left.
How much did that home run, the one run, settle everyone down?
Well, it helps. You'd like to have been a couple guys on base when he did it, but one thing about Batista too. I mean, he's got that knack for doing some big things at the right time, so who knows how long he's in town, playing in town here. And so I know he definitely wants to go out with a bang anyway.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sam.
Young-Soo Kim at the plate with Adam Jones aboard. Nobody out here in the top half of the fourth. Here was the home run we talked about that came last week. Off Osuna, the Toronto closer, pinch hit home run that won the game on the road for the O's. Now Baltimore is not a team that's going to burn up the base paths. They had 19 stolen bases.
You ruined my question to Ronnie. I was asked if he was going to steal here.
What's interesting is we've seen this many times in our postseason broadcast. Teams that don't do anything during the regular season all of a sudden do something different in the postseason.
Thank
you. It's hard to do things different in the postseason when you haven't done it in the season. You'll see more bunt attempts and playing for one run, but if you haven't bunted successfully during the season, it's hard to execute in the postseason.
Jones leads at first, and the 2-2. The count is full.
Now here's the question: do they run on counts like this, 3-2, to stay out of the double play?
Well, Kim is one of their hitters that is not a guy that strikes out as much as some of their big boppers.
I'd say it'd be a good plan to run on this pitch.
There he goes, the 3-2, rounded to first. Encarnacion has one play and has to step on the bag. It does keep him out of a double play possibility, as Jones was on the move.
There's many ways to run the bases aggressively, and this is one of them with the 3-2 count to start the runner. So a ground ball then advances into scoring position, stays out of the double play.
Cal, you're 2 for 2. You had Bautista swinging on 3-0, and you had Jones running on the 3-2 pitch.
I'm not keeping score, though.
Russell Martin, the veteran, out with his young pitcher, trying to instruct him what to do here with maybe one of the best players in baseball, Machado, up. And you do have a lead, but you don't you have first base open also. Not that you'd walk him, but you can pitch carefully to Machado.
Hey, Ronnie, I'm thinking they forgot to say what sign they were going to use with somebody on second.
That happens too.
No.
A ball and no strikes to Machado, who popped out to short his first time. Orioles have their first base runner here in the fourth. Adam Jones represents the tying run.
Stroman's difficulties this year is as he's gone through the lineups. Gave up 20 home runs this year. Only 1 the first time through the order, 5 the second time through the order, and 14 the third time through the order.
Yeah, by the third at bat, you should know what he has that particular day and what he's doing to you.
Little cat and mouse game here for Stroman and Machado. Stroman stepped up, Machado stepped out.
I wonder whether they're a little paranoid about Adam picking up the signs. Troy being in there, he needs to know what the signs are. He needs to know what way to anticipate on each pitch.
Interesting. Tulowitzki ran, touched second base right near Jones. I was always paranoid if it was a veteran player on second. They're more apt to give signs.
2-0 pitch. That missed. So Stroman, who had it all his way through the first 3, now has the tying run at second, and a 3-0 count to Machado, who is swinging. 3-1.
Sometimes it's really difficult to convince yourself to swing on 3-0 when you feel like he's pitching around you a little bit.
In the air, right center field. Bautista over, Pilar on. And what a catch by Kevin Pilar. Ronnie, you said he's going to win a Gold Glove someday.
I mean, I don't watch all the Blue Jay games, but every one I do, he has a diving catch. What a play.
From my angle, I was watching Bautista. I thought he was the only one to have a chance at that ball. And all of a sudden, Pilar comes out of nowhere. What a catch. He should have been backing up third.
Yeah, it was just too good of a catch. He had to enjoy it.
So now 2 down for Trumbo. Down the line and left, pretty well hit. That ball is gone. Mark Trumbo, the major league leader in home runs, has given Baltimore the lead. That is Pickles Pub in Baltimore, where we've got the camera, and they are loving it as the Orioles take the lead here in the fourth. Here's Matt Wieters.
Looks like a low fastball, sinking fastball. He's all over. 94 miles an hour coming in. I don't know how fast it went out, but it went out pretty quickly.
Talk about an emotional roller coaster in this inning. This place is going nuts as Pilar makes the diving catch in the gap in right center field. They're an out away from getting out of it. And Trumbo turns on one to give the Orioles the lead.
Tell me that didn't look exactly like Joe Carter's home run off Mitch Williams. down pitch, and a bullet.
Here comes the 0-2. Outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the switch hitting Orioles catcher. And he got him. But not before the Orioles get to Stroman. Mark Trumbo got one he liked and put it over the wall and left. And the Orioles lead it 2-1. And Cook Tire. Bottom 4 here in Toronto. Josh Donaldson swings at the first pitch. It's over near the line and right. Will it stay in play? Yes. And boy, Michael Bourne still got good speed and came a long way to make that play.
It's amazing the little things in a game. Bourne with all that speed. Gets Mark Trumbo. This ball falls foul. But now with Bourne, Gold Glove center fielder in his best days, now playing right.
He's made 2 great plays out there. One in the corner, and that one after a long run. Here's Encarnacion.
The importance of defense for sure, and even the little blooper to right that he came in. I thought he came in there and caught it really quickly. If you don't have that sort of defensive right fielder out there, you could have a double, a single, and certainly that would not be an out right there.
There's a strike, 1-1. Baltimore led all of baseball with 253 homers. The Blue Jays were 3rd in the American League with 221. Both teams have homered tonight. Trumbo's a 2-run shot. Bautista a solo shot. And it's 2-1 Baltimore.
We've spent some time talking about the little things that players can do in these big games. How about the manager, Buck Showalter, sending Adam Jones? If he doesn't, that certainly is a double play. Trumbo never comes to the plate.
There he is, 3-time manager of the year, and each of those 10 years apart with different teams. Two balls, 2 strikes to Encarnacion.
Ronnie, it seems like Tillman's got his little slider and his curveball working. Many times you only have one of those breaking balls, but he's actually throwing both of those pretty effectively right now.
Wooden fish, 3-2.
Well, like his manager said, that's one of the strengths of Tillman, is that he has 4 pitches. He will throw any of the 4 on any count.
No chance there's a fastball in this count, is there?
No.
Huge cut, came up empty. 2 down. 4th strikeout for Chris Tillman. Let's take a look at StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services. The exit velocity a shade over 100 on the Bautista home run, which came in the top half of the 2nd. That was his 4th home run lifetime off of Tillman.
Now.
It's a home run on the 3-0 pitch. Starts him off with a slider. Just got to be thinking one of the breaking balls here in 1-0.
Well, the first time up, he tried to pitch him inside. That wasn't effective. And you're right, Cal, the second time up, just slow stuff.
Sometimes when you go sit on the pitch, he's got to be able to get the pitch over the plate to go sit on it. No sense in looking for a curveball if he's not getting it over.
Now. Missed again, 3-0.
I can't see him giving in this count here. Called for a slider away.
Walked him on 4 pitches. So the Blue Jays have a runner on with 2 down here in the 4th.
The Blue Jays, if they go deep into the postseason, they only will if Russell Martin hits. And he's going to have to hit with some pop, because if he doesn't, they're not going to pitch to Bautista.
Martin tried to bunt his way on his first time, but bunted it straight toward the mound, and Tillman threw him out. He takes a strike, 0-1. This is the 49th postseason game of Russell Martin's career, with the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Pirates and the Blue Jays. 11 seasons in the bigs, and 9 of them have ended up in the playoffs.
Nope.
The 1-1.
Now.
Balls and 1 strike. And there you see it. Russell Martin, a mainstay in the postseason. And he knows what this wild card game is all about, too.
Yeah, he does. Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire, just had a little more generous strike zone earlier in the game. Now has been crunching that strike zone for Tillman.
Three balls and 2 strikes to Russell Martin.
Straight change, Ronnie.
It looked like he took a little bit off. I don't know if it was a straight change, but it wasn't his good fastball.
83 miles an hour. I couldn't see the sign. I was watching the hitter down here. Looked like he was way out in front. Definitely took something off. Change of speed of some sort.
He threw the 3-2 breaking ball to Encarnacion. Does he go back to it? No, back to the change.
He got a pretty good swing at that.
Bautista, who was running on the 3-2 pitch, retreats. And his former college teammate, Russell Martin, digs in again at the plate. They were at Chipola College in the Florida Panhandle. Three balls, 2 strikes. There goes Bautista, and again foul away.
You know, sometimes part of pitching is reading the swinger, the batter up, and his swing at a particular pitch. The 3-2 changeup prior to that fastball, Martin had a really good cut. Looked like he was on it. He countered with the fastball and got it by him, even though Martin was able to foul it off.
It's very important for the pitcher and the catcher, or one or the other, to read what's happening from pitch to pitch.
The 3-2 hit to second. Scope has a lot of time and throws out Martin for the 3rd out. 4 innings in the books in the AL wildcard game.
2 years in a row. And join the over 1 million small business customers who prevail with the Hartford.
Chris Davis leads it off in the top half of the 5th and takes up and in from Marcus Stroman. Stroman has 4 strikeouts, one of them Davis, who taps this one foul up toward first and into the hands of Wayne Kirby. And we saw the tough spot in the 4th inning after Stroman sailed through the first 3.
If there's an Achilles heel for Chris Davis, it's the ball up in the strike zone. He likes it down, but that is not a strength for Stroman. His strength is on the knees.
I liken the Chris Davis swing. His baseball swing, if he were on the pro golf tour, would be Ernie Els-like. Gets maximum power out of a very easy hack. You see a lot of different approaches at the plate as he takes a called 3rd strike for out number 1. You see guys like Beltre go to a knee and swing like that. There was no swing on that pitch from Davis. 1 down. Hey, Casey Stern, what's up in Atlanta? All right, thank you, Case. Here's Jonathan Scope.
Jonathan's the best power hitting second baseman that no one knows about.
I was going to say I guess he's still under the radar to an extent, but that he's getting on more and more screens as he rifles that to short. And look at Tulowitzki. My goodness, what a play.
This is a fantastic play. Hard hit ball in the hole. Fully lays out, but look how quick he gets up to his feet. And look at the strength of his arm. Fully extended. Pops up to his feet. Straight over the top. Perfect throw.
Putting a star in the scorebook next to that one. And here's Michael Bourne. Cal, I'm always amazed when I see a play like that at the speed at which guys get to their feet and make a strong throw. How do you get your body to do that?
I don't know anything about getting to your feet really fast. I used to throw that play on one knee because it was much easier for me to prop up, but many guys would push themselves up and get to their feet and make the play. And part of making a play like that is to understand who's running.
That's going to be a 2-out single for Michael Bourne as Bautista played it on the hop. Go ahead, Cal.
I mean, as emotional a pitcher as you'll see in all of baseball is Marcus Stroman. Seems like he lives and dies on every play.
I know the Blue Jays haven't fielded well from an error standpoint in the month of September, but they have some guys that can really play defensively.
Michael Bourne is a threat to steal for the Baltimore Orioles.
Number 9 man J.J. Hardy at the plate. Joe Biagini, Toronto rookie, up and getting loose.
You got 2 huge outs for the Blue Jays on Sunday at Fenway Park.
I remember Earl Weaver, my first manager, wasn't really crazy about making outs on the bases. And in order to steal, you have to have a high percentage of 80% or more. But talking to Buck Showalter, he said you can't forget who you are. You score runs by swinging the bat, and they don't like making outs on the bases.
Just did get a piece. Bourne still has good wheels. I mean, he stole a couple of bags when he came over to the Orioles, but he led the National League 3 years running in stolen bases from 9 to 11.
I'd say this is a good chance to take right here. You're up 1 run in the ball game, 0-2. Hitters that are very defensive. J.J. Hardy's defensive right now.
There he goes. Pitch in the dirt.
No throw. You know, the other thing, Cal, about that is many times for Stroman on an 0-2 pitch. You're usually going to see the breaking ball.
There's not a whole lot to lose right there. You did have a base stealer on first base. If you get thrown out, J.J. Hardy starts the next inning off with a new count. And now you're in scoring position.
Number 2 out again here for Stroman. He had a great play by Pilar in the last inning. That didn't help. He had a great play by Tulowitzki in this inning.
Hardy waiting on a 1-2.
Wow, Russell Martin showing off his shortstop skills. Sometimes you can't worry about blocking a ball. That was so far out in front, he decided to snatch it, catch it like a backhanded shortstop.
Michael Bourne edges away from second. Hardy takes ball 3.
Well, that was clearly low from the side over here, but it looked pretty decent the way Russell presented the ball.
What a great at-bat by J.J. Hardy.
And he waves at strike 3. Stroman works out of trouble with some help from Tulo at 6 o'clock Eastern time. The guy who made that big-time defensive play in the top of the 5th leads off the bottom of the 5th for the Blue Jays. Tulowitzki takes a strike 0-1.
Well, we mentioned a little bit of bad blood between these two teams. On July 31st, Tulowitzki hit a home run off Tillman. His next time up, Tillman hit him in the hand. Tulowitzki wasn't too happy about it.
No.
Tulo's been swinging the bat well as of late. Had a good first at bat.
He hit a ball right into the corner that Michael Bourne chased down. Made a great play on his first time.
Nope.
We've seen some pretty good leather here in this wild card game so far. In the air to left. Kim settles under it. 1 down.
Well, I think Tulowitzki thought he missed the pitch here. Down and in, pops it up, and the frustration fires the bat away.
He had 2 1-off speed pitch. I think it was a straight change. He saw it and waited pretty well for it. Just missed it.
And that brings up Michael Saunders. Didn't mean to, fouled it back. Saunders struck out his first time. Tillman has struck out 4. He has walked 1.
I got caught watching the monitor right there, and then I saw the check swing. The left-hand hitter's up. I'm in danger over here. On check swings in particular.
In the air, near the line, in left, long run. That's a fair ball. Bouncing into the seats for a ground rule double.
This is one way to stay on a curveball. You stay on it so long, you hit it the other way. Drives a slow curveball right down the left field line. Bounces in for a ground rule double.
Kim had him shaded way toward right field and ran out from under his hat over there. So now the tying run at second. 1 down. In the 5th, here's Kevin Pillar. the job done with runners in scoring position to the tune of 324.
Well, really, that's the reason Toronto Blue Jays weren't as powerful an offensive team this year. Last year with Risp, they hit over 280. This year with Risp, as a team, they hit less than 250. That's been the big difference.
Pilar's got some pretty good numbers off of Tillman,
including 3 home runs. Foul at the plate. 1-2. Michael Saunders leading from second. He has Toronto's second hit of the night and represents the tying run. Pilar waiting on a 1-2 to right field. Bourne on the move. Can he get there? It's off his glove. Saunders is around third, but he's being held up. They're at second and third.
Cal, you had to have a good look at that. It seemed like he just missed it.
Yeah, it looked like he had a good beat on it. He was running over. The ball was hit pretty hard, tailing away. High fastball, tomahawks it down the right field line. And he has a good break on it. Just doesn't quite get it. But I can't figure out why Saunders did not score. There's not a whole lot of advantage from tagging up on a one out to get the second, to get the third with 2 outs.
That's just a base running mistake from Saunders. Should have scored on that ball.
That's a double with a guy on second base if you don't score. Now, I can see with no outs, you might want to try to advance and kind of play him a little bit easy. But with 1 out, if there's any doubt at all, you got to be halfway, 3/4, looking back. If he makes a great play, you return to second base. If not, you score easy.
Not often you see back-to-back doubles in the scorebook, but nobody scored.
Remember now, a big part of Ezequiel Carrera's game is he loves that safety squeeze. He'll try to bunt the ball to the right side. If Saunders reads it correctly, he can score.
We saw it here a couple of Sundays ago. Tillman to Carrera. He did square and took it. 1-0.
Well, Machado and Davis are both in. Well aware that the bunt exists. Jonathan Scope is sneaking in a little bit at second and paying attention to the square, because part of the safety squeeze is to bunt it to the first base side. To give Saunders a chance to read that bunt a little bit more.
Swinging away and fouls it back.
Remember now, Carrera on Saturday night in a game that the Blue Jays had to have hit a sacrifice fly to drive in the run.
Tying run 90 feet away. Go ahead run at second. Carrera line drive center field. That's a base hit. The game is tied, and they will hold up Kevin Pilar at third. 2-2, runners on the corners.
What a benefit. Hanging curveball from Tillman, and you get 3 hits from the 7th, 8th, and 9th place hitter here in the Blue Jays lineup.
With 1 out in the 5th inning, the night is over for Chris Tillman. Michael Gibbons trots in from the here in Toronto in what is now a tie game, and he comes on with runners on the corners and 1 out.
What a year this young man has had. Started out his career as a shortstop in the Orioles organization until they made him to a pitcher.
Top of the Toronto order, Devin Travis steps in, swings at the first pitch and grounds it to third. There's 1, there is 2, 1 pitch and a huge double play induced by Michael Gibbons. Chris Tillman went 4 1/3. Michael Gibbons came on through 1 pitch, had a double play ball to keep the game tied. Top of the 6th, zipping right along here in Toronto, and Adam Jones leads it off.
You know, on this 2nd and 3rd situation right here, base at the center field, if you look at the cutoff here from this angle, Baltimore has Manny Machado and Chris Davis as the cutoff guys. And it didn't come back to hurt them at all. But Manny clearly was in the wrong spot. Then he turns around and makes a great play to start a double play. A big double play to get him out of it.
You see the regular season, Adam Jones has established himself as one of the best center fielders in the game. He has not had that singular postseason that he's been looking for, though.
I think like most of us hitters that we get ourselves out, we get overly aggressive. Adam Jones is like that. I think moving into the leadoff spot made him think a little bit more about getting a better pitch, get on base. Still has the power from the leadoff spot.
To short. The vacuum cleaner has it. Here's that 1 pitch from Michael Gibbons.
And Manny goes to his left. Makes a nice quick throw. This gets good all the way around. Good strong turn, and Davis picking it out of the dirt. Preserve the tie.
1 down now for Kim, who's 0 for 2. Devin Travis throws him out. Quickly 2 down here in the 6th.
Last year in Game 5 of the ALDS, 6 strong innings from Stroman. Only gave up 2 runs. He's an out from doing that again. Pitch count outstanding.
There's Manny Machado, who's 0 for 2 in his last trip. He was robbed by Kevin Pillar with a diving catch in right center field.
I like the aggressiveness of Manny right there. 5 pitches in this inning. You might think, okay, I got to make him work a little bit more. But this is my 3rd at bat. I got him figured out pretty good. I'm going to go look for a pitch that I can hit.
0-2. Cecil the lefty, Giacchini the righty, loosening as Machado serves one into shallow right, and he'll reach with 2 out.
Well, you're taught as a pitcher, any ball hit to the right side, you always have to be aggressive and go cover, because you just don't know what's going to happen.
We talk about a lot of little things that could add up. He had a play at first base if he breaks the cover.
Meantime, StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. The guy coming to the plate now, Mark Trumbo, and that's what he did in the top half of the 4th inning. Gave the Orioles a 2-1 lead. Right now we are tied. 2 out in the 6th. And Pete Walker, the Blue Jays pitching coach, out to have a word with Marcus Stroman.
You don't know if there would have been a play, but if he would have covered first base, Travis would have thrown it there, and you might have had a close play at first base. Stroman got caught watching the play instead of covering first.
Yeah, Manning very well could have beat it out for a hit. But the way the play was developing, it looked as though he had a play. He had a chance.
Trumbo hit that home run on the first offering from Stroman.
First pitch swinging again. One hopper to second. Stroman is pumped up as it's still a tie game as we head to the bottom.
And by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families.
Well, here's a half inning that will test the mettle and the character of any relief pitcher. Michael Gibbons facing Josh Donaldson, Edwin Encarnacion, and Jose Bautista in a tie game. Donaldson swings and misses.
Those trio of hitters against Gibbons, 0 for 15 lifetime.
All of those, obviously, regular season as he makes his postseason debut. Stakes a little higher. But same result if you're Donaldson. Struck him out for the first out. Tonight's Playmakers presented by the all-new Chrysler Pacifica. You see the numbers on Edwin Encarnacion. Over the last 5 seasons, a powerhouse.
See the shift again against Encarnacion. Gibbons is an unorthodox pitcher. Kind of slings it up there from the side with that good sinking fastball and slider.
It looks a little like he's short on the ball. The ball just explodes out of his hand with some movement. 2 pretty good sliders the last 2 pitches.
He must abuse some first basemen when he was a shortstop.
96 strikeouts in 74 2/3 innings in the regular season. And he struck out Donaldson to start the inning.
Interesting when you see the defense for Baltimore. We're always talking about shifts, but the defense for Baltimore, here's the motion of Michael Gibbons. Closes that front side so you can see the number and name on his back, and then the slinging from the side, that effective pitch.
Into the shift. And Scope throws him out. 2 up and 2 down here in the 6th. Open lines of communication to the Baltimore bullpen.
Baltimore bullpen has been their strength. ERA in September, since September 1st, 1.70.
Here's Bautista, who opened the scoring in the 2nd inning with a solo home run.
Fans showing their appreciation for the 2 free agents, Encarnacion and Bautista.
Here it was in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Bautista leading off that frame and taking Chris Tillman deep. The Orioles had an answer from Mark Trumbo, a 2-run shot in the 4th. And then Toronto tied it in the 5th. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Gibbons. This is a postseason debut he will never forget. We make our way to the top half of the 7th inning in the AL wildcard game here on TBS. Thanks so much for being with us. Ernie Johnson, Ron Darling, Cal Ripken, Sam Ryan. 2-2. The winner goes to Texas to take on the Rangers.
I personally would have stayed with Stroman to see if we could get one more inning out of him. John Gibbons obviously disagreed. Brings in Brett Cecil, DeMatha High School, University of Maryland, here against the Baltimore Orioles.
They turn Matt Wieters around to the right-hand side. And then lefty on lefty with Davis.
Up toward third. Bare hand Donaldson. Great pick by Encarnacion. One down. Cal, when you're trying to make this play, what's the toughest part of that bare hand throw on the run?
Yeah, I was just wondering why he was going. The ball was bouncing up a little bit. And with Wieters' lack of speed over there, you might have a choice to catch that with your glove. But that's the way he makes that play. Puts him in a good position to throw off the right foot. And what a great pick over there by Encarnacion.
Here's Chris Davis. 3 Blue Jays on the right side. That pitch in the dirt, 1-0.
Cecil got off to a terrible start to start the season. He's only gotten stronger, though, as the season's gone on.
Breaking pitch over. Ball and a strike.
That big sweeping breaking ball from Cecil.
And as the story goes with Cecil, when he was a kid, wanted to give him a baseball glove for his birthday. His aunt did, and got one that he had to put on the right hand. He was actually a right-handed thrower, but since the glove went on the right hand, he started throwing lefty. 2 balls and 2 strikes against the dangerous Chris Davis. Count full.
You know, we said in the last inning that Baltimore's bullpen's ERA 1.70 since September 1st. Toronto's 4.60. In a tie game after 6 innings, you think the advantage is Showalter and the Orioles.
In the dirt, he walks him with 1 out, and that brings up Jonathan Scope. Take a look at the art of performance presented by Jaguar. Waiting patiently are the Texas Rangers to see who comes down to Arlington. Will it be the Toronto Blue Jays or the Baltimore Orioles? And boy, Texas with those 49 comeback wins and 36-11 in 1-run games. That's going to do it for Brett Cecil, who faces 2 hitters. Joe Biagini, rookie righty, on his way in. Standing play and quite too low. That was something. So here we go. Joe Biagini, the 3rd Toronto pitcher, and he faces Jonathan Scope. Scope is 0 for 2. He was the victim of that great play by Tulowitzki as last time.
Biagini, a Rule 5 draftee, got 2 huge outs at Fenway Park on Sunday. Needs to do the same here tonight.
60 appearances in the regular season.
So it seemed like Gibbons had made up his mind a little bit with Stroman, but he was happy with 6. We were going to go matching up after that. There's a fastball, a little off the outside corner.
I think both of these managers are eyeing, if they do get the lead, multiple innings maybe for Osuna and Zach Britton.
Closers aren't used to pitching in tie games or multiple innings for that matter.
Well, for Gibbons at home, he'll use his closer certainly.
Did Scope have a cut? Nothing to show for it. 2-2.
Biagini trying to spit. Nothing coming out.
Steve, right through call.
There was a fastball earlier in the count that Biagini did not get the call. And then with the framing of Russell Martin, gets this one from Gary Cederstrom. Scope saying no. That's the battle always between the pitcher-hitter.
It's 95 paint. We will come back to the outside corner.
Here's Michael Bourne. Bourne singled in the 5th and stole a base, but was stranded at 2nd. And he's behind 0-2.
First changeup we've seen for Biagini.
Martin completes the strikeout with the throw to first. It's time to stretch. Game for the postseason show on TBS presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. With Casey Stern and Pedro Martinez, Gary Sheffield, and Jimmy Rollins as Russell Martin swings at the first pitch from Michael Gibbons, and Adam Jones able to flag it down in straightaway center, 1 out.
He was all over that 94.
Well, his cruising speed is about as fast as anyone's at regular speed, so made up for that little misjudgment.
Here's Tulowitzki. Pretty impressive by Michael Gibbons out there, huh, Cal?
Yeah, I didn't realize how nasty he was. Up close, ball was jumping out of his hand, but a nice sharp slider. Right-handers do not want to fall behind in the count with him.
7 of the 9 hitters in this lineup are right-handed for the Toronto Blue Jays. That plays into Gibbons' abilities.
He has set down the 5 hitters that he has faced. Starting with getting a double play ball to end the 5th, and he struck out 2 in the 6th. Tulowitzki takes a strike.
You saw the shift. The scope was all the way on the other second base side. Now with 2 strikes, he's moving back to more of a straight up position on that side. Still to pull. But Tulowitzki has the ability to shoot a ball that way.
Another punch out for Michael Gibbons. 3 strikeouts.
Well, one of my favorite parts of the postseason is when you discover something that the Baltimore Orioles fans have seen all season long. The talent of Gibbons is someone that a lot of people don't know. But we saw how talented he is tonight.
I didn't see exactly what Buck Showalter said, but I think it was something along the lines of "Good job, kid." Then Toronto counters with Melvin Upton, the pinch hit for Saunders, with 2 out here in the 7th. Art, another one of those guys with a little unconventional delivery.
Slings it from the side, but he's been awfully good since brought up, making his first appearance in July. Melvin Upton Jr. salvaged his career in San Diego this year until being traded over here to Toronto. Well, like Gibbons, but even more pronounced That leg kick, that closed body, the dip with the upper body, and the slinging it from the side. Awfully tough on lefties, a little less tough against the right-handed hitter.
2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th.
His release point is considerably lower than Gibbons from the right-hand side. And sometimes that can present a problem for a right-hander. The ball's coming into you. It's not like you have to stay in on that breaking ball like lefties would.
Get the change-up grip before he puts it in the glove.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Upton took it but didn't like it.
These are the unknowns. You just don't know how a young pitcher who had a couple stints with the club is going to react in a game of this magnitude. 2-2 count for Hart.
That's fouled off of Upton, and it stays 2-2. Used to be B.J. Upton, Boss Man Jr. Going by Melvin now, 32 years old. His brother Justin and the Tigers made a run at a wild card spot but came up short.
Trying to crowd him with his fastball in.
Almost hit him 3-2.
Well, Hart appeared in 22 games in the regular season, covering 18 in the 3rd innings. He didn't walk the first hitter once.
Can't forget that Melvin's got some pop.
The 3-2. In the air to left. Kim goes back and has room. And somebody threw something out of the stands.
There's a bottle of water someone threw at the same time he was trying to make that catch. Inexcusable.
The side is retired. The conversation is about to commence. We'll be back. Never let him in the ballpark again.
Like the rest of this Toronto bullpen, there's been struggles down the stretch. Really had all those outstanding years in Pittsburgh when he was a closer. But in his last 10 in the 3rd innings pitched, he's given up 12 runs and 5 home runs.
Hardy is 0 for 2 and hasn't put the ball in play. A couple of strikeouts. And he takes outside. 1-0.
Thing for me is when Buck was out there, you know how you can have fan interference, a left fielder, right fielder, with someone that interferes with the ball that he's trying to catch. You know, with what just happened there, if Kim doesn't make that catch, he's got to be called out anyway because he was camped underneath it, and it was certainly the dumbest fan interference of all time.
Little looper. Travis backs up to make the play. 1 ball. Adam Jones, obviously hot when he saw his teammate make that play with that beer can sailing his way.
Yeah, Adam could have seen it coming over. Who threw it out? Maybe he was trying to point him out. That's a long conversation that Buck had out there, and obviously he was wrong. What could he be discussing? Gain some sort of advantage in the future, or to get this guy out of there?
Swing and a miss by Adam Jones. Back at the top of the Oriole order. Jones singled in the fourth. Scored on Mark Trumbo's 2-run homer. Also flied out and grounded out. He bats in the eighth in the wild card game, tied at 2. Whose bullpen is going to blink? Tried to check his swing, could not. 0-2.
Well, it's a pitch that Jason Gurley's been struggling with in September, but his slider looks in fine form tonight.
Adam taking a chance to get a breaking ball, got fooled pretty bad on the two sliders. You got to believe you got to try it again.
Wouldn't chase. Ball and 2 strikes. Gurley, a little over a month shy of his 40th birthday. Has been through a lot in his career, has overcome so much. Gruesome knee injury at one point. His father really nursing him back to health, helping him do everything in rehabbing, and then becoming a top drawer closer in this league for a time. And he struck him out.
Well, the battle of the bullpens we said would be an advantage for the Orioles. It's tied right now. Both bullpens outstanding.
You talk about Stroman showing emotion on the mound. It really does the exact same thing. You saw the fist pump on the strikeout from Jones, and here is Kim with 2 down.
He's in the autumn of his career. Everything means something. Showed you earlier, huge home run Kim had at this ballpark. Go-ahead home run. That was against Asuna.
Trying to back to a breaking ball. Couldn't get the call right there. I think that's the right call, a little outside.
Got to have big shoulders if you're Gary Cederstrom right now. Every pitch is being argued by 50,000.
Three balls and no strikes to Kim, who's 0 for 3. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield.
I wouldn't guess he'd be swinging here, Cal.
No, I mean, you never know who likes to swing 3-0 and who doesn't.
Got some kind of hitter up behind him.
You want to get Manny Machado to the plate if you could. Might be worth taking a strike.
There it is, 3-0.
It's not always true that when you get on 3-0, you get on 3-1, but I think in this case it probably is.
High chopper, wide of first, Encarnacion wins the race. 3 up and 3 down as we head to the bottom half of the 8th. Brock appeared in a career-high 71 games out of the Baltimore bullpen this season, and he's in here in the 8th in a tie game, Ronnie.
Well, you see that record, 10 wins he got out of that bullpen. He's their lucky reliever when he comes in. All-star this year. First reliever to have 10 wins since Arthur Rhodes.
He missed it 94 with the first one to Kevin Pillar, who leads it off in a tie game. Winner moves on to meet Texas. Count even, a ball and a strike.
You know, there's many ways to define home field advantage. But I think in these type of games, when you get down to the end of the game and close to extra innings, it's a big advantage to be the home team.
Pilar is 1 for 2. He doubled his last time into the corner, and a ball that it looked like Michael Bourne would catch. He did not. Michael Saunders was at second, didn't score on the play, but eventually would. And Brock just blew him away for the first out.
Brock all season long has owned right-handed hitters. It's left-handed hitters that he struggled with. They've hit 400 from 407 with 3 home runs, but right-handers, because of that crossfire that he throws, he has owned.
So you look here, you got to be ready for the bunt. For Machado and Scope, Davis, they're all looking for it. Sometimes it's good to remind each other so you just don't get lost in the at-bat.
Ran up to bunt, 0-1. It was Carrera who tied this game in the 5th.
And then the key, you look at Jonathan Scope at second base. When a bunter has speed and he can get it past the pitcher, that's the danger area.
That was Carrera tying the game in the bottom half of the 5th.
That was the last pitch thrown by starting pitcher Chris Tillman.
And it was the last Toronto hit. Breaking pitch. Ball and 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter.
These teams fought so hard to get into the postseason. And because of the season series between Toronto and Baltimore, Toronto got home field advantage.
Yeah, they won the season series 10 games to 9.
So I'm trying to figure out whether it's an advantage to use your closer, at home, because that's normally the conventional thinking.
In a tie game, Gibbons will certainly use Osuna. Well, tie game, or if they're lucky enough to go ahead. Starting pitcher Chris Tillman.
So if you're Buck Showalter, when do you go to Britain?
I mean, on the road in the regular season, you go to your closer once you've gotten the lead.
On the ground, into right field, base hit. Carrera, a catalyst out of the 9-hole. For the Blue Jays.
Well, you certainly can't play a shift against Guerrero. Hits the ball to all fields. So that space between Brock and Davis, a base hit for Carrera.
Top of the order now in Devin Travis. Carrera 7 out of 11 in stolen bases this year.
7 and 11, and off the pitcher Brock this year, 3 out of 4 have been successful.
Lays down a bunt, but foul.
Well, we came on saying both these teams can hit the ball in the park. But it's the Toronto Blue Jays who played a little bit of small ball.
I wouldn't say he caught Manny Machado playing back a little bit. Manny sometimes baits you into thinking that you got a bunt and he'll come in and use that bare-handed strong arm to throw him out at first.
Jumps ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2. On the ground to Scope. There's one. Relay. Got him. Double play. Second time tonight that Travis has rounded into an inning-ending double play. Game still tied.
We had the lefties. That was Mr. Ralph Kiner who was responsible for those home runs. Roberto Osuna in a game, tie game for the home team. This is where you see your closer.
So we move to the 9th. Machado leads it off, swings at the first pitch off the end of the bat. One down.
Looked like Manning was geared for 95 and got 88.
There's the home run by Mark Trumbo in the 4th. Which put the Orioles up 2-1. We stand 2-2 in the 9th.
First game in the postseason for Trumbo. Oh well, I guess I'll hit a 2-run home run in my second at bat.
Let's see what he does in his 4th. Little dribbler foul.
Osuna had a little different game plan here. He loves his fastball, but has come out and thrown 2 straight sliders. Francisco Liriano in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. He was considered as maybe being a starter in today's game.
Osuna to the plate. 0-2. And I tell you, we have been fortunate to watch this game, this wild card game in some tremendous settings, high drama. That game in Kansas City a couple of years ago with 12 innings between the A's and the Royals. This one is in the 9th, all tied as Trumbo lays off a ball and 2 strikes.
The way he took that breaking ball at 0-2, it almost be tempted to throw a fastball. Looked like he was really waiting a long time.
Down even.
Well, this is our 9th wild card game. First time it's been tied entering the 9th inning.
That was just a flat-out challenge. Power and power.
96. Trumbo still has to have in the back of his mind he's got to protect against the breaking ball. But he was pretty quick right there on the 2-2 fastball.
I remember when I used to pitch, if the guy fouled a straight back, oh boy, plan B.
Trumbo stays alive. 36 saves and 42 chances for Osuna, youngest pitcher in big league history to have a 30-save season. He's just 21. Gave him a little hesitation. He went off Cueto on him.
Held that leg kick and then snapped off a vicious slider. Whatever works.
Desperate times, desperate measures. Here's Wieters, who turns around again now, the switch hitter, to hit lefty against Osuna.
Is that something he does normally?
I've only seen him do that a couple of times, Cal, but I mean, to do it in this kind of circumstance, whoa.
And if you're not expecting it, definitely throws off your timing. problem is when you do that, you kind of mess up your own time sometimes. Threw a pretty sharp breaking ball out of that hesitation.
It's 3-0 to the Orioles catcher with Chris Davis waiting on deck.
Wow, 2-0 changeup right there too.
Matt Wieters, one of the few free agents that we've seen in the past few years take the qualifying offer of his team. Wanted to stay in the orange and black.
Felt that up here, 3-1.
Well, Wieters the last 5 years on a 3-0 count is 11 for 17 with 3 home runs. He tried to hit number 4.
Yeah, strong swing. A little bit long, a little bit late on that one.
A slightly delayed strike 2 call from Barry Soderstrom.
I thought this pitch was outside. Soderstrom gave it to Osuna.
I'll just let the crowd let you know what happens on this pitch. Heading to the bottom of the ninth. Coverage on TBS is presented by Hankook Tire. What a ball game here in Toronto. Bottom of the ninth, 2-2. Brad Brock is back out there again. Facing last year's AL MVP, Josh Donaldson, the 2-3-4 hitters for Toronto.
The bringer of rain, Donaldson. Brad Brock has pitched 2 or more innings 5 times this year. The Orioles, when he appears in a game, their record this year was 54-17. The shift is on again.
1-1 miss, 2 balls and a strike.
Good numbers against Brock.
One strike.
He's got to come at him now. Donaldson's going to get a good pitch to hit.
Line drive, fair ball. Donaldson around first. He's at second with a leadoff double in the bottom of the ninth.
No guarding the line. A 3-1 fastball. Lifts his leg up.
Remember, it was 2 seasons ago when Donaldson was third baseman for Oakland, and the same ball by Salvador Perez eluded him to give Kansas City that win. Poetic justice, maybe, for Donaldson.
Edwin Encarnacion took Brock deep. A walk-off homer on June 10th. He won't get the chance to do that here.
It's a little unusual right here. No outs, count second base. Putting him on.
If you need a reminder, ALDS, the bat flip heard around the world from Jose Bautista in the win over Texas. Wild card game 2016. Here's Joey Bats again.
So the walk certainly sets up the double play. But if you're Buck, you got to think, okay, who do I want to pitch to out of those two? And maybe it's the choice he wants to pitch to Bautista.
2013, the Braves played the Los Angeles Dodgers. Their best closer, Craig Kimbrell, never was pitched and stayed in the bullpen. Britton, their best weapon, might not be used here.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe you call on him to get out of a jam.
Good pitch here by Brock, right on that inside corner.
Good mix of his pitches too. 1-0 slider. He swung and missed. Came back with a fastball on the inside corner.
Foul on the right side.
The man who never hits the ball to the right side tried to right there.
Making sure that that wasn't a breaking ball. Almost an emergency hack.
Donaldson, the winning run at second. Encarnacion at first. A 1-2 to Bautista. Tried to hold up and couldn't. And that's out number one.
He called on the pitch or the swing?
I think he called it on the pitch, a slider. Bautista disagrees. Thought it was off the plate. But I'm pretty sure that Cedarstrom called the swing. I mean, sorry, called it a strike.
He committed pretty far out there as well. Could have been either way, I think.
Darren O'Day will be the new Baltimore pitcher.
Been a tough year for Darren. He's had a right shoulder strain. He's had a hamstring pull.
Russell Martin is 0 for 3. Grounded to third. Machado goes to second for one, to first. Double play. The Orioles have done it again. Third inning ending double play of this night. How big is that in a 2-2 game?
But he's had some amazingly productive years in an Oriole uniform.
Chris Davis swings and misses at the first offering from Osuna. Again, that exaggerated shift.
Josh Donaldson was playing up discouraging a potential bunt maybe on the first pitch. Now he's backed off a little bit.
Well, what makes Davis so difficult for a pitcher to deal with? I see the shift. Anything on the ground he might pull, but he has tremendous power to left center and left field once he gets it in the air.
Home runs in the regular season. That's down in the dirt. 2-1.
So on that shot of the shift, you can see that they're playing him shaded the other way in the outfield and extremely to pull in the infield.
There's his home runs in every direction. Power everywhere.
The 2-1. Count even, 2-2.
That was a borderline high pitch, loose from the side, right in the top of the strike zone.
In the air to right. Bautista, one down.
It's interesting. It looked like Edwin Encarnacion called Gibbons out. The trainer is coming. 3 years ago, this youngster had Tommy John surgery, signed as a 16-year-old from Mexico. And there seems to be some concern, but it doesn't seem like Roberto wants to leave the game. John Gibbons told us before the game that he's very careful with his 21-year-old, and he's going to be careful here.
It is Encarnacion who signals to the Blue Jays dugout. Toronto fans holding their breath on this one. Wild card game, 10th inning. And the 21-year-old closer has to leave. And he will give way to the 32-year-old Francisco Liriano. Game since 2012.
Well, now we're into the starting pitcher part of the bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays. So September 28th, we mentioned a couple of times with the Kim home run to win it for Baltimore. Well, Liriano started that game, went 6 strong innings, no runs and 10 strikeouts against this Baltimore team.
He faces Jonathan Scope, who rounds one up toward third. Donaldson guns him down for the second out. Looking at Osuna's last couple of pitches, and you see his reaction.
A little grimace after that slider. Something was wrong.
Liriano throws a strike to Michael Bourne, 0-1. And then it was after the next pitch that Encarnacion signaled to the Toronto dugout, and they came in rallying. At this time of night, every pitch, every play, every call magnified.
The one thing you do get with Francisco is if he is on, you get some length from him.
2-1. Easy play at first. 1-2-3 inning, though it may have been costly long term in the Toronto scheme. Heading to the bottom of the 10th.
Against Darren O'Day.
Tulowitzki's 0 for 3. Sails outside, 1-0.
That frisbee breaking ball that those sidearmers can throw. Could have hit it in the backyard when I was 6 and still can't hit it.
Sometimes when they get under it so much, it seems like the ball is breaking up. Looks like he's going to get another one.
There's another strike, 1-2. O'Day developed his style, his motion, after being cut from the University of Florida baseball team when he was throwing straight overhand.
Conventionally.
Went in the summer league and then developed this. Got back on that team and went to the College World Series with him. The 1-2. Popped him up. Chris Davis has room, 1 down. taking you back to 1993. Joe Carter, one of the iconic postseason home runs of all time.
Touch them all, Joe. Back-to-back World Series for that talented Blue Jay team.
And then came a 21-year drought before they went to the postseason again and returned last year. Had the dramatic win over Texas in the ALDS, knocked out in the ALCS by the Kansas City Royals.
Well, Justin Smoke's going to be up for the Blue Jays. I talked about that 0 for 25 from Tulo Pilar and Melvin Upton Jr. Melvin 0 for 16, so Smoke will be the hitter.
He's one of 3 switch hitters coming off the Toronto bench in this one.
Blue Jays have used 6 pitchers and now 3 DHs.
Buck Showalter was talking about, having somebody left over. He couldn't have Chris Davis pitching in the extra innings, but I think he was just joking about that.
Originally drafted by the Texas Rangers, he's trying to send Toronto to Texas with 1 swing. Another frisbee in there for a strike.
Smoke 2 for 6 off Darren O'Day.
He was a high school teammate of the guy doing the catching right now, Matt Waiters. Stratford, South Carolina. Day has one he likes. And here comes the 2-1. Inside, 3 balls and a strike. Smoke looked like he was ready to toss the bat aside and trot to first.
Well, in our TBS strike zone, that caught the top of the rectangle.
O'Day to the plate. And Smoke hangs in. He had 14 home runs and 34 runs batted in 126 games this year. Did Smoke. Spent several seasons with the Mariners. Had some good years there.
There's a better swing there. Smoke 3 for 13 as a pinch hitter this season.
Darren O'Day, has gone inside the last 3 pitches on him. That ball leaked out over the plate, got a little bit more of the plate.
He came to the plate The 2015 playoffs went 0 for 8 in his debut. Wouldn't be a better spot for your first postseason hit.
Sinker down the way here.
And he struck him out. 2 down here in the 10th.
I mean, when he's right, you love Darren O'Day in the game late because he usually doesn't elevate the ball too much and no way for Smoke to get that in the air. His head is only a couple of feet from the ground as Darren O'Day.
Well, here's Pilar. Nobody on. 2 out. Bottom half of the 10th. He's 1 for 3 with a double. Toward the gap in right center field. Adam Jones with a long run and makes the play. Ball tailing away, but Adam Jones, all that speed. 1, 2, 3, 10th. Let's go to the 11th, folks. Now we posed the question several innings ago, once the starters were gone, whose bullpen is going to blink first? At this point, eyes wide open on both sides. Well, Minnesota Twins teammates facing off right here. Francisco Liriano and J.J. Hardy. Slow tap towards second, and they'll get him by a step.
Not a lot of hard contact here for the first 3 outs that Liriano's got. But he's got the top of the lineup now.
Adam Jones steps in.
I'm always curious because they don't play no doubles too much anymore. Looks like Josh Donaldson is pinching the line a little bit to take away that double.
You might want to play their outfielders deeper. Adam Jones 8 for 21 with 3 home runs off Liriano.
He's got a single and 4 trips in his score run. Struck out his last time. Liriano came inside and missed. Ubaldo Jimenez is loosening. And Brian Dunsing, the left-hander.
Liriano with 96 and 95 trying to come in there. Missed on both of them.
Yeah, both those relievers up. Dunsing could start the inning because Carrera's the leadoff hitter. Ubaldo, of course, like Liriano, can give the Orioles some length if need be.
Orioles haven't had a hit since the 6th inning. Tulowitzki. 2 down.
This ball's hitting the hole. Tulo takes a shorter angle to it. And even though he's a big guy, he uses his legs. He's kind of a running shortstop. Throws on the run. Strong arm. Gets him easily at first.
Nolan Reimold. Pinch hitting now for Kim in the 11th. And takes a strike. Boy, Liriano working in a hurry. Give me the ball, let's go.
Always accused as a starter of working slowly, just the opposite as a reliever.
That didn't take long. And it's a 1-2-3-11. Going to the bottom half here in Toronto. On. He was signed by Kansas City in February, released in March, signed again by the Royals on April 1st, and then released in May and signed later that month by the Orioles. He's going to face Ezekiel Carrera to lead off the bottom half of the 11th, and Carrera's been a real pain to the Orioles out of the 9-hole.
It's the old Minnesota Twins part of the evening. Liriano with an effective inning in 2/3, and Dunsing appeared in the postseason in 2009 and 10 with the Twins.
Carrera knocked in the game-tying run in the 5th. We've been sitting on 2-2 since then.
Probably be in next to face Travis and Donaldson and Encarnacion Bautista, the right-handed beginning of that Toronto Blue Jay lineup.
Breaking pitch missed. Looking for his 3rd hit of the night, but is called out on strikes to lead off the bottom of the 11th.
Here comes Buck.
Yeah, here comes Buck. There goes Ryan, and here comes Ubaldo. In the 11th in the wild card game.
Most of his year was forgettable, and even had to go to the bullpen for a while because he didn't have any success. But in September, he turned it around. 3-1 with a 2.31 ERA for Ubaldo.
Back to the top of the Toronto order, and Devin Travis, who's 0 for 4 and twice hit into inning-ending double plays. Nowhere near with the first one, 1-0. Once upon a time, this guy was unhittable.
He was.
Back in 2010, threw a no-hitter. Starting pitcher in the All-Star game. 3rd in the Cy Young back then with Colorado.
Ubaldo's issue, especially early this season, 72 walks in 142 innings pitched. Too many walks.
Into left field. That ball will fall for a hit. Looked like he got just enough, Cal.
Yeah, fastball right down the middle here. 90 miles an hour. Ubaldo used to running up there around 95, 97. That ball hits a little bit foul on the bat, but hitting the right spot.
30 runners tried to steal a base off of Jimenez this year. 26 successful.
Donaldson at the plate. Into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Around second, heading to 3rd. Here comes the throw. He's going to be in there easily. Travis at 3rd. Donaldson at first with 1 down.
Picked on the first pitch and a bullet to left field. Reinhold misplayed it a little bit on the first to third.
Remember Reinhold came in and struck out on 3 pitches, came in defensively. Travis saw him miss the ball and went from first to third. Donaldson, more heads up, might have been able to take second on that play, but wasn't able to get there.
Really aggressive base running, coming around looking for the opportunity to go if he didn't come up with it clean, and he didn't hesitate.
Well, it's a team, the Toronto Blue Jays, who had all kind of problems defensively in September when they had their worst month of the season. It's a defensive mistake by their opponents that helped them here in October.
This happened June 10th. Encarnacion with the walk-off, taking the Parrot for a walk with the right arm extended.
Ed Wing, Toronto Blue Jays, 6 walk-off wins this year.
The Orioles bring their infield all the way in, even though they've turned a lot of double plays.
Oh, there's a drive to deep left field, and the ball game is over. Absolutely electrifying moment to send the Toronto Blue Jays into the ALDS against the Texas Rangers, and he knew it as soon as the ball left the bat.
And everybody in the ballpark knew that was gone. Got every bit of it on the first pitch fastball.
That's 2 lap flips in 2 years for the Blue Jays. 4 of their 5 runs scored of home runs from Bautista and Encarnacion, who might not even be with the ball club next year. Both free agents.